Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie comics Sonic the Hedgehog, reminding you not to obey in advance. Fascism has historically worked most effectively when the mechanisms of democracy keel over, give up, and obey in advance. No one ever has to do that. Keep yourself safe, and that can include acting harmless and pedestrian. Maybe keep your posts to really boring stuff and remove the politically charged bumper stickers if you live in an area where you might be retaliated against. But whatever you do, and whatever practical position of power you hold, always do the right thing for others. I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic, and except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script.
Ooh-wee. It's been a fun few days. That's all. That's all. We don't have to... People know. Let's just go right into it.
Yep. We are reading Sonic number 25. Sonic the Hedgehog number 25. Release date, May of 1995. Publication date, August of 1995. Go ahead, Mecha My Day. Part 1.
I love the title. Great title.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I knew you'd like that one.
You made it sound like you wrote it. I
No.
did that one for you.
No, script by Dominic wants it. No, script by Mike Gallagher, penciling by Pat Spaziante. We got Spaz, and boy, oh boy, does he make himself known here, which is pretty good. Pretty good.
We'll have a conversation about that.
Sonic is standing on a box with Rotor kingering with Sonic's shoe. Sonic is standing on a box with Rotor tinkering with Sonic's shoe. Rotor is asking Sonic to stand still, a seemingly impossible task for our borderline ADHD hero. Rotor is installing a fiber optic camera into Sonic's shoes, a Sonic cam, if you will. This placement makes no sense, since he'll be moving his feet so fast. However, due to Sonic's commitment to never wearing clothes, it's the only place where Rotor can install a camera. Rotor and Sonic conduct a quick test and confirm that the shoes work and will autofocus at whatever Sonic's toes point. Sally commends Rotor on his new tech and says it'll come in handy because all of us freedom fighters here in the secret village of Knothole are in danger. A new zone portal has been discovered recently. It could be highly disruptive and must be explored. It's called the Collision Chaos Zone. We cut to Robotnik, standing in front of a giant monument of himself, giving a speech to all his robot minions while he hides behind a curtain. Perhaps my most brilliant creation to date. I, the great and powerful Rob Osnick, have spoken. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. I allowed the freedom fighters to discover the portal, indeed. Sonic's ego won't allow him to resist testing his skill in the zone, but just in case, I'll encourage him by making use of these stolen Sonic Gram fan letters. Piranhabot, who is in a fishbowl near Robotnik, pipes up, saying that tampering with mail is a federal offense. Ha! That's what makes me a supervillain on the cutting edge. Robotnik starts to read his stolen mail.
I wanted to make sure you did it right, so I put the right...
Yeah. Dear Sonic, you are my hero. I love it when you kick Robobutt. Enclosed is my photo. XXXOO Amy Rose.
Great.
Thank you.
Like, fantastic.
For the record, a great stage direction here by Nick. It's Robotnik impersonating Amy Rose's voice. Thank you very much. Good direction, good direction. Robotnik crumples up the fan mail in his hands and says, "We'll see how cute she is when she meets him, Robotnik looks over to what looks to be a Sonic-esque figure shrouded in darkness. Skinnier and more metallic than the beloved Hedgehog we know and love. Robotnik hands the fan mail to this metallic Hedgehog. Bring me the child who lives at this address. Okay.
Affirmative.
That'll sound better in post. We cut to Sonic and the Freedom Fighters hanging out in the control room in the secret above-ground village of Knothole when Robotnik appears on the giant TV. The Freedom Fighters, shocked and jaws dropped while watching Robotnik give this speech. Greetings! This is your lord and master, Ivo Robotnik. Good thing we've got a widescreen TV. Most amusing, Sonic. Almost as funny as the thought of you chickening out from running on the collision chaos zone. Who are you calling chicken, Flabio? I'm there. Sally pipes up, saying this is clearly a trap. Why, Princess Sally? Isn't this a face you can trust? Have I ever lied to you? No, and yes, disrespectfully. Sure, you don't think. Oh wait, I've just been handed a bulletin. Robotnik pulls out a young girl hedgehog. She's pink and has a yellow skirt. You're right. It's little Amy Rose, the hedgehog's, Sonic's biggest fan, and my smallest hostage. Say something before we sign off, child. Help! The transmission ends. Sonic rolls up into a ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is right.
I'm gonna believe you on this one. Yes, yeah. Why you snort, oily son of a woof? What's the?
I think he snorts. That's why I put it how I did.
Thank you.
But like, it still doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it absolutely doesn't. I'm assuming it's there's not even a quote. Is it italicized? I need to look at it while I'm. I promise I did read it.
Yeah, no. It's not even. It's a thing that doesn't exist in the English language.
Sure.
So I put it in quotes.
Oh, okay. So what you get? So for I have it on screen right now.
It's supposed to be sounds.
Yes. You're right. Looking at the comic, it makes more sense. What you can do, Nick, and it's okay. You didn't know about this. You can just use asterisks. Do you know the asterisk sign?
Sure. Yeah.
That denotes more of an action. Okay. Here we go. No, don't go to the top. Now we cut. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. So now I have to snort on command. Okay. Let's see if I can do it. Okay.
I'm giving you some fun stuff to do.
I know. Yeah. This is acting. Why does he snort though? I'm putting it in context.
Dude, I don't know why he wolfs either. It makes no fucking sense.
Okay, let me just go for it. So he's mad. He's not like even confident anymore. He's like straight mad. Why you oily son of a woof? And why does he woof? Like
I don't know.
Like I grunt makes sense. Why woof?
Grunt would have worked.
Yeah. Because to me, woof is like excitement or like in concurrence. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, and as you wrote, I legitimately do not know what Sonic is doing in this frame. Yes, actually, that's that. Oh man, I love it. I love it when he goes
into a ball and said snort and woof.
Yeah.
I think that's out of character.
Yes and no.
Well, he hates tears, and I'm sure Amy's crying now. So maybe like the sight of Amy just like broke him. And he just curled up into a ball.
We cut back to Robotnik and Amy Rose. Robotnik is tying Amy to a chair when another Robotnik comes bumbling in. Yes, I've been expecting you. Won't I, you come in? God. I actually did not register how many like voices there are. Okay. I am trying. I'm a bit unsteady. Robotnik trips, revealing Snively inside a Robotnik costume. Snively is laying on the floor. Oof! I've had to keep my balance in this costume, Master. You're wearing it for a reason, Snively. Your job is to fly behind Sonic in my Robopod and burn up the trail behind him. Sonic will be forced to proceed to the second zone, where the real challenge awaits. But if he looks back, he'll think I'm following him, when actually I'll be waiting to spring my final deadly trap. End of part 1.
What'd you think?
I think it's all right. It's a decent setup. We're back in the land of comically, and I mean that in both ways, comically, preposterous situations, and it's very super villain-esque. But you know what? Honestly, the spaz art, the spaz penciling, somehow sells it better for me. I don't know what it is.
I was about to go straight into that. I kind of hate it.
You hate it. You're the opposite.
Word. Yeah.
You dislike
hate isn't right, because I legitimately do like his style.
Yes.
But and as stated, because I went. Well, let me explain what my problem is first, and then I'll explain why I didn't feel that way in the last issue where he was the main artist, which is it's too busy. It's kind of hard to tell what's happening in some of the panels. And
you know what? Yeah.
There were things that were happening, which it didn't even register that, like, the Wizard of Oz bit, I didn't even realize that Robotnik was doing until he said the curtain thing, and I had to, relook at the frame, and then I was like, oh, there is a curtain that's being pulled. But, there's so much going on in the frame that, it kind of takes away from it. So,
or it could have been blocked better.
Yeah, maybe blocking is the right word. And
no, but some of these are really busy. And actually, so a couple pages above, 3 pages above, I think it's Sonic in the target reticle.
Yep.
Yeah, where it's look, I'm half and half. Where it's I think that looks fine, but I can see an argument where it's too busy because.
Well, you know what? I'll push. The target wouldn't be an issue. Mm-hmm. It's the thing right next to it on the left, the shoe and the rotor and the screen and everything. That's hard to decipher what's going on.
It's more of a framing.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Okay. So I'm counter arguing ourselves. Play devil's advocate. I think it's maybe you're supposed. Okay, it's inferred that they're already looking at the shoe. They're talking about the shoe. The whole point of this page is the shoe. So when they go into it, it's still kind of hard to see, right?
So my pushback here is I went back and relooked at, I think it was issue 23.
Okay.
Where he was the last one. That was the last one where Spaz was the
Drew,
head.
Yeah. Penciled. He penciled, yeah.
Penciler, thank you. And I don't know if they gave him more freedom on this one or if he just wanted to try going in a different direction. But he still had that stylized look, but the framing was a lot less busy in pretty much all of 23, which is why it really clicked. And there are frames in here. Is there anything in the first one that I really like? There were a few standout things where I was like, oh, that's really good. For example, I like the on page 6, there's the image of Robotnik in Sonic's eye. I think is great. I think that's a great image. There's when Snively falls in the Robotnik suit. I really, really like the stylized Robotnik that's kind of in a light shadow behind him looking down.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even register that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like what he's going for in there. But at the same time, there are other panels where I'm I had to it took too long for me to stare at it to figure out what was happening. And I think that is a negative when we're talking about comics.
So I think our consensus, or at least where we meet, is that I personally think it's just a cooler and more visually interesting art style, but maybe in this particular comic, the discipline of keeping things clear enough, you need to have some level of baseline. I mean, there is some, but like it needs to be clearer. It's too busy for you. And I think I can see that. I can see that.
I agree. I think the art style is like cooler, and the style of his drawings I prefer. I think so far in terms of his like style of the characterization and everything, I really like, except for when they open up their mouths, but I will point that out later in the next issue.
Okay, yeah.
Not issue, but story.
But through it all though, the thing I like most is his Robotnik, is Spaz's Robotnik.
I agree.
I
think it's fantastic.
He's like an Art Deco looking, like villainous. I mean, obviously villainous, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's just sharper, and it's in some ways cleaner, but it's a starker angle. It's accentuated most in Robotnik's like silhouettes, like the silhouette you mentioned. It's super interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I just think this comic is kind of dated because, like, man, the U.S. Post Office. That's how you know this was before 2025.
2016.
We still have a post office as of this recording.
Yeah, we'll see where we're at next week.
Remember, it doesn't need to make a profit.
A lot of people think otherwise for some reason.
It's a service.
Maybe all services need to make a profit because we can't have
I don't know
nice
about that.
things.
Okay, here we go.
Literally, like the best thing America had going for it, and we are destroyed. I'm sorry, it's just
no.
The post office is so fucking good.
We are post office stands right here. I love that their unofficial. It's not an official motto, but their unofficial motto of, and I'm going to misquote it right now, but neither rain nor sleet nor snow or whatever, just goes so hard. Just one of the best slogans of all time.
Agreed. Yeah. Super cool.
Do you have the Postman, that postal apocalyptic
with Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner. Do you have it on your shelf?
Of course I do. I love if Kevin Costner is starring in an apocalyptic movie, I'm in it. Give me Waterworld, give me the Postman. I think that's about it. But man, back to back in the 90s, it was just like shit's fucked. And you know what? He was right.
Yeah. They saw Waterworld and they were like, "Oh man, what if it was like Land
less
World?
Expensive?"
Yeah. The post office motto, the unofficial one, which is more of a tribute and it's chiseled in stone, it's like on the stone of I think like the New York General's post office is neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. Goes so hard. God.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's better than I thought it was. That's pretty good.
Poetry. Absolute poetry. I'm not even going to read the real one. They could honestly just adopt it. They could. Okay. I bet you the reason why they didn't adopt it because it's like, well, that's going to be our standard. People are going to get super pissed when we don't do it. Okay, there we go.
Wait. Sorry, this is probably something else you're going to have to cut. Oh, nope. Okay, didn't come out yet. April 3rd, 2025 is when Horizon in America Saga Chapter 2 comes out.
Sorry, I was holding for the thumbnail. Okay. Go ahead. Mecha My Day, Part 2. We are inside what can only be described as the UN, but for the freedom fighters. Which doesn't make sense because it's multiple nations, but regardless. Sonic has the podium, and the freedom fighters are sitting around, listening to Sonic. There's no time for red tape. Amy Rose is one of my best pen pals. She needs help, and fast. Sonic, what are you doing texting this bitch? No, I'm kidding. Sonic.
Oh my God. How old is Amy?
According to Robotnik, a child. So
I know. Amy Rose age. Archie. I can tell you what day she was born. Day 186 in the year 3226. She's 11.
She's 11, and Sonic is 16.
Yeah, not legal, dude.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. Imagine being halfway through high school and then
and pen paling with an 11-year-old.
It's not quite texting. I don't want to play devil's advocate here. It's gross. Okay. Sonic, we intend to rescue her. We're just not sure that rushing into the unknown danger is the way to start. Come on, Sally. Danger is my middle name. Besides, we have our very own trained spy who will scope out the situation from the air. Right, Tails? Me? Yes. Fly ahead and get us an aerial overview of this collision chaos zone. Antoine slams his fist into the desk. Stop! No. There must be a motion, and a second, then a committee. Tails flies off and exits the above-ground village of Knothole through their secret trunk entrance to their original underground village of Knothole. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll circle back to that. Tails begins to survey the area and does a low swoop maneuver to check out the entrance to this zone. Tails is spotted and gets captured immediately by 3 SWAT bots. We cut to Sonic later in the day. He couldn't wait any longer for Tails to come back from recon. And so he goes to the portal himself. There we see a floating TV with Robotnik's head. I have one other item for your agenda, pork boy. Perhaps now you will see that I mean business. As you see, I have also got your beloved friend Tails. Need any more incentives, Hedgehog? Sonic leaps into the ports and starts running on some sort of highway. As Sonic is running, the Sonic Cam is transmitting images back to Rotor and Sally. There they can see Snively in a Robotnik suit chasing Sonic, burning the highway behind him. Sonic keeps running and goes through another portal. Behind him, watching, is the shadow of a metallic hedgehog. End of part 2.
Okay. Few things. One, I'm going to just go straight to... remember how I said earlier that I don't like Spaz's drawings up front of their mouths? Mm-hmm. It is the top of page 9. We have a front view of Tails going like yippee when Sonic's like, yeah, you can go ahead and scout this for us. It is unnerving.
It's a lip.
Mouth.
It's a lip.
It's not a lip. His mouth is open.
No. I'm sorry. You're correct. You're correct in pointing out how weird it is drawn. Because it's off-putting, because it looks like lips.
Oh yeah, I guess I can see how it looks like lips.
You're correct. No.
Like registered in my head as lips.
No,
it just
you're
looks
correct.
Weird.
You're correct. It is the open mouth. It is absolutely intended to be the open mouth with the uvula and the tongue. You're correct. Yeah. But the reason why it looks weird is because it looks like lips, and it looks like it's a heart. Like the negative space.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think we're all in agreement that it just shouldn't have happened. Whoever. I mean, when he penciled that, he should have been like, maybe this is wrong.
Yeah. And interesting here is that, yes, Tails flies out of the tree trunk underground, but it's the above ground village of Knothole. So this implies, if we're giving them the credit, but this implies that they ran out of space underground and started building above ground. So they have multiple layers. No.
Because Tails is... their meeting is above ground because there's windows you can see outside in their like meeting rooms.
You're correct. It's a mistake. Unless
if it's truly been underground this entire time and they put up like projection screens to make it look like they're outside, to make it feel like they're above ground, because it gets really I mean, no, this is dumb. This is just a mistake. They fucked up. Why would they do this?
It's like they can't decide if it's underground or not. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
They just need to stay consistent, because I was kind of on board for like, oh, okay. It's like, okay, the military, because they're clearly, this is like the halls of democracy, or like, you know, some court of Congress or Senate or whatever, or some kind of meeting room or military headquarters. That's cool. That deserves to be underground. That makes sense. But no, you're correct. It's just inconsistent.
But, and it's something I just thought of right now. Maybe they abandoned the village, but they still use the caves they made to get around the Great Forest, and they have a few of these tree trunks all around the Great Forest, so they can like get in and out and like pop up like Viet Cong that shit.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this before, but that's very Polish resistance. That is very Freedom Fighters, the video game.
Yeah. I think we're being... Yeah, don't you literally use sewers to get around in the Freedom Fighters game?
Correct. We talked about this. Yes.
Yeah.
That we are giving them way too much credit. Yeah.
I agree 1,000%.
Or yeah, it's abandoned. It's like a Potemkin village. Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So the Potemkin village, this was during the Russian Empire. And it's kind of gone to legend where the facts are misrepresented. But the legend goes is that the emperor or empress of Russia, I forget even who was in charge at that time, but the so-and-so of Russia wanted to tour a recently captured village that a local governor or whomever was building up, or like, you know, supposedly through letters at the time, right? I was like, oh yeah, we're doing great. Yeah, this is a fertile land, beautiful, or whatever. And it's like, and then the emperor or empress goes, hey, this sounds great. I'm gonna go visit. And the dude was like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. So then he gathers whatever resources this person can, and then starts hastily building villages and hastily putting people. It's like, okay, you do this, you do that. And it's like, okay, we're going to pretend this is a thriving village, everyone. It's very North Korea coded, right?
Yeah, I was about to make that connection. The
term is Potemkin village for a reason that I forget, but it was someone's name or the local whomever. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm very lackluster on the details, but it just reminded me of that general concept, that story. So honestly, North Korea would be the more apt thing these days. But anyway, again, too much credit. You're right. It's not that. It's absolutely not that. I just like how Sonic sent Tails out for reconnaissance, but didn't give him a camera. Didn't give him a live feed camera, which they recently installed on Sonic's shoe.
Tails is the only artistic one, so he was going to come back and draw what he saw.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I would have loved to see that.
I don't get Snively and him chasing Sonic, burning... I'll accept whatever weird premise they have for the burning of the road behind Sonic. We'll talk about that more in the next issue. But
the next story.
Yeah. The thing that like really rubbed me the wrong way is they were Rotor and Sally were able to deduce that Snively was in a Robotnik costume chasing Sonic. And I just don't understand, like, how did that happen? Because the frame that they show, it shows the costume of Robotnik like kind of falling off Snively and revealing his head. And I'm just like, I don't get are they like, is he flying upside down? And if he is, why? And I also don't understand why it matters if it's Robotnik chasing. Oh, we'll get more into that in the next one, but I don't get why.
The reason I'm assuming is because Robotnik is the biggest target, so they want to go after him instead of the actual race or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really
That
understand
doesn't
it
make
myself.
sense.
Yeah.
Because then he would go after him and not do the race.
Yeah, you have Metal Sonic for that already. He is the distraction.
Yeah.
He's the
that's
challenge.
why
He's
I'm
the
like,
bait. Well,
Yeah.
no, the hostages are the bait, but either way. Yeah, there's like multiple facets to this. It's an over-engineered plan, Robotnik. It's over-engineered.
I mean, we'll talk. Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's just go to the next issue so I can talk more.
Go ahead. Mecha My Day. Part 3. Sonic goes through the portal, and in front of him is Metal Sonic. I hope you're hungry, because I'm gonna make you swallow both of those logos. Very good visual gag, by the way. Sonic.
Oh.
Is that you? Did you not understand that line before?
Just keep on reading.
Gotcha. Sonic, with the fate of his friends on the line, admittedly has some pretty bad one-liners. But do you think now it's a good one-liner?
No, I think that's dumb. Do I think it's dumb because it outsmarted me? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to admit one way or the other.
There we go.
The only thing you're going to do is eat my stardust. That is, as I head through the Stardust Speedway Zone, your two little friends are waiting for me at the finish line.
Sonic begins to think to himself that maybe it'll be faster to double back the way he came. He turns around
What
and
does that mean? Sorry.
he turns around and sees Robotnik chasing Sonic and burning the highway behind him. That makes an easy decision even easier. Coming at you, Buckethead. Sonic and Metal Sonic begin fighting, seemingly evenly matched. We cut to Robotnik, watching in his control room. Amy, seemingly losing faith in Sonic, cries out. It's funny is that I have people downstairs who are probably hearing all this.
Nice.
Oh, boo! What? She is 11. She is 11. I was hoping Sonic would... Oh, no, she's still going. She's still going. Okay. I was hoping someday Sonic would get engaged with me. We cut back to Schrodinger's knothole, where Sally and Rotor have lost the feed with the Sonic cam, and Sally says it's time for action. We cut back to the Stardust Speedway Zone, where Metal Sonic and Sonic are fighting and running on a highway that's floating hundreds of feet above the ground, weaving in between buildings. We cut to the finish line of the highway, with Robotnik and Crabmeat standing at the finish line. Robotnik wants to test his plan out and asks Crabmeat to stand at the finish line. Crabmeat obeys and is smashed by a giant wall that comes crashing down. That's right, Robotnik created a new dimension, built a giant highway, and invented a Metal Sonic to race Sonic, so that when he got to the finish line, he could finish Sonic off with a borderline Looney Tunes anvil drop. I couldn't be prouder of Robotnik. End of part 3.
That's his plan.
It's his plan.
He created a whole new zone, whatever that means. I don't think I've got a good grasp on what a zone is and how someone could just make one. And
The zone. So just on the zone thing, because there's a lot going on here. Obviously it's them trying to take things from the games and put it into,
of course,
the comics. Additionally, we've already got dimensions, multi-dimensions, right? So these could be like pocket spaces in reality. It could be like, could it be an interdimensional thing, or is it a space thing where it's just transportation, where it's like, hey, I built this zone and it's on a whole different part of Mobius, right? Still on the same planet, still in the same dimension, but we just portaled over there. We just instantly transported over there. I'm not sure, but those are the two things that I can see it being.
Yeah, I'll accept it.
Yeah, it's arbitrary. I don't like it either, but
Yeah.
I wish it was like parts of Robotropolis, That's cool. It's like, here's the zone where it's like, you know, a massive highway for some reason. But yeah.
What do you think of Robotnik's grand scheme being revealed?
Pretty good. It's just like you. I found it super funny in the macro sense of like, he's going through all this shit. I registered Metal Sonic as a character already because he's, you know, Metal Sonic's been around forever. So I just didn't register that, oh yeah, Robotnik built Metal Sonic. And like all of the miracle of advanced artificial intelligence and robotics, just so that the thing that gets me is that it's not even like a detection thing. It's like, I am literally pulling the lever manually.
That's the one thing
I was
going to bring this up in the next issue. Yeah. But I actually don't understand. I thought it was like weight sensitive. Like it's, well, you know what? We'll talk about it in the next issue.
It can be both. It can be both. There can be like a manual override, right? Right?
He doesn't push a button I think.
He doesn't push a button here. When is he, like the first time or the last time?
Ever.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, you're right. I'm my mistake. I thought I interpreted a thing there. Like a lever pull.
I thought I did also, which is why I went back and like reread this aspect of it because this is one of those things where I'm like, maybe it's too busy.
We're jumping ahead, but there is kind of like a button press. And we'll probably...
Well, let's finish this, and then we'll continue this conversation.
But did you have anything else on this part?
No, I need to talk macro.
Okay. Go ahead. Mecha My Day. Part I.
Isn't that 4? No, it's V4. I'm an idiot. Was
that a bit?
I've done this before so many times, and this is the first time I've done that. So I know what I'm talking. I know how to do Roman numerals.
Okay. You did it Call of Duty style. Because they've done Call of Duty where it's just
maybe they just do tallies.
Probably. I hope it's tallies. Okay, here we go. We open on Sonic and Metal Sonic, still racing on the Stardust Speedway Zone.
Give it up. You must be exhausted by now.
No way, San Jose. Nothing will slow me down.
Oh no? What if the Mecha Sonic you were just talking to was a hologram and the real me was wanting and waiting to ambush you?
Metal Sonic pushes a button on the side of the highway, raising what looks to be a speed bump. It raises in front of Sonic, and he trips on the highway. We cut to the skies of the Stardust Speedway Zone. Rotor is flying a plane with Sally, holding on to the wings and looking down with binoculars. Sally spots Robotnik and jumps out of the plane with a parachute, with Rotor flying off. Sonic and Metal Sonic are still racing. They are on the final stretch of the highway. Sonic decides to do the figure 8 super peel out and runs faster than he ever has before.
Sonic's current speed is at a level never before achieved. Must exert beyond maximum. Malfunction. Heat generated by speed and friction is melting my metal legs.
If you can't taste the chili dogs, stay out of the kitchen. Okay. Sonic rushes through the finish line, and at the exact moment, Sally flies from the sky and knocks Robotnik over with a kick. Bah! That's not fair! My plan was so foolproof! What? That device house in the arch? I saw it coming a mile away. Quit your belly aching. I'll stand under it if it'll make you happy. Sonic stands under the arch. The wall comes flying down, and Sonic zips out of the way. Robotnik stands under the arch when it activates again, crushing Robotnik. End of part 4. And the comic. And the issue.
Okay, so it is a button.
So are you looking at this panel? Are you looking at this page?
Yeah, it's a button. That's fucking insane.
So
that
what happens
here? Absolutely insane that Robotnik thought he could stand at the finish line and push the button fast enough to crush Sonic. He was just going off like reaction speed. I respect it. I respect the fact that he thinks he has the reaction speed needed to crush Sonic in a, like, we'll say 1 meter. You know what? We'll give him.
We'll be very generous.
2 meter.
Yeah.
2 meter like area where this wall needs to like just drop down and crush him. I love it. I love it. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So
this is
the reason
if you
why,
think about it, but you know what? The fact that it crushed Robotnik, that kind of makes it a very form-fitting guillotine for the man.
for sure. The reason why I thought it wasn't a button is A, because that's absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah. You
And
fixed it
B,
for him in your head. You assumed it was better.
They did a gag where it's like a breaking the fourth wall, and it's supposed to be your finger pushing the button.
Yes.
They don't show a button. And so
No, they
what
don't.
I thought was happening was they were trying to make it show that you were putting your finger over the like line. And because they don't show a button, not
You're
once
right.
do they show a button. So
Also, it's very lame of them to assume that it's it's never a good idea. It's not a good idea if you're doing insert from the reader to not actually show body parts of the reader, because the finger is white. It's a Caucasian finger, right? And it's like, well, who knows who's reading this, right? So what they should have done is, and that's not even a microaggression. That's just like, why? Like, that's just dumb. All right. What they should have done is well, look, you know what would have been cooler is if they show a button facing us, the reader, and then we can press the paper. That would have been way cooler.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like such an easy fix.
Yeah. That's
And
way more
it's-
tactile and cooler and funny. But yeah, you're looking at this finger and it's like, that's just awkwardly. Yeah, you're right. And it implies
There's no button to push.
He was using motion. So Sonic is also being irresponsible. And it's like, if it was motion sensor, it would be like, okay, kids, put your finger into this motion sensing
Yep.
crusher.
In fact, the only reason why I was just like, the only reason why I know it's a button is because Sally, when she kicks Robotnik, says, "Get away from that button."
Yes. Also that too.
If she didn't say that, there's no picture of a button anywhere. There's no reference to a button.
Yeah.
Robotnik never like talked about a button ever.
It sounds like that we're being extremely like persnickety about a button, but it's not clear to us, or rather it was like a mental block that didn't make us understand this already Wile E. Coyote contraption thing. And it's like, what do we assume here? What do we not assume? We don't know. It's not, you need to make things clear. Even when things are wild and wacky, right? You still need absolute honestly, that's what makes Tom and Jerry, that's what makes Looney Tunes so effing good. Is because you watch those cartoons and everything is so crystal clear as to how things are operating. And that's just good animation. Or in this case, you know, what you need is really clear illustration. I like a degree of busyness, depending on the context, right? And for wild and wacky 90s Archie Sonic, I appreciate it. But when it's not, things are not clear and things are too busy for its own good, right? It's not a design choice. It is a strategic or a case by case actual implementation of the choice, right? That's what we're trying to get across here. And yeah, man, draw buttons. Buttons are cool.
Yeah, we need more buttons. I think it's extremely funny that like, well, I think it's interesting they call him Mecha Sonic and not Metal Sonic.
Yes, that's I was thinking about that too. Because you wrote in the script Metal Sonic, but yeah. You know, I mean, things change when you first introduce a character.
The thing that I found really funny is Metal Sonic doesn't run.
No. He never has. He never has.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. I prefer that, actually. But then they make it seem like he was running so fast, trying to keep up with Sonic, that the friction melted his metal legs. And I'm like, what is happening here? Not once do they show him running. He hovers everywhere.
Yeah. His jetpack should have exploded, or his booster mechanism. His body should have exploded.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the boost could easily. Honestly, the design of Metal Sonic, if you look at him, and I'm gendering the effing robot male. Who cares? Because Sonic is male, so whatever. It's trying to be a clone. Okay, whatever. But the design of Metal Sonic, as I'm assuming, it's implying that his whole middle body is like a jet engine, right? Because of that massive thing in the middle. That's really, really cool. Right? They could have easily cheapened out and been like, oh, hey, I'm a robot clone, and it's like a jetpack pops out of my back. Right? And technically it does here, but because the design is on the front, the crater is in his front, it's like, oh, I'm intaking the air and processing it and stuff like that. It's really cool design. Very, very nice. But, why did his legs melt off?
Yeah, I don't know.
If all of him melted, that would be cool. But why? Yeah, the implication was that he was using his legs.
There's so much. I think there's cool ideas in this comic, but it feels so very thrown at a dartboard. Yeah, kind of like they don't mix well, and there's a lot of why are we installing cameras in Sonic's shoes?
It was completely arbitrary. It was just so that Sally and Rotor can keep up. The whole plot reason was so that you can bring Sally and Rotor in after things have de-escalated or things have escalated. But honestly, what you could have done easily was just, hey, Sally and Rotor, come with me. Yeah, and it's
that's the thing is I don't get it. You just or you can even be like, hey, if I don't come back in an hour, come in.
So right? Actually, if you think about it, the Freedom Fighters attacked in 3 waves. Reconnaissance by Tails, who got captured, Sonic himself, who was kind of just charging in, and then Sally and Rotor as reinforcements. So it's like, what was the point?
That is exactly what happened.
And it's like, okay. I'm playing devil's advocate. Because Sonic, in his hot-headedness, just slapped a plan together. That's why they had to come in waves, because it wasn't planned from the beginning.
I will say I do legitimately really like the fact that Sonic was like, we're doing this, and everyone was like, no, this is really dumb. Mm-hmm. And he still does it anyway and gets Tails captured literally in the next panel.
Yeah, I wish he paid consequences for that. I wish Sonic paid consequences
and maybe
for that.
The next issue will, but
they seem they're fine.
I like
they look
the fact that everyone's calling him out, being like, Sonic's clearly not a leader, and I like that.
Yes, that I do like. But he didn't really... But because he wins in the end every goddamn time...
yeah.
Look at the very last panel. Yeah, exactly. He wins. And I understand you need to reset. Okay, so if your comic needs to...
You know what? If he's a winner, does it really matter in the end, Dominic?
That's some good meta commentary that I wish they had accentuated or hinted at in some way, which they kind of did, but not by the end result. Not by the end result at all. They need to have a conflict. I don't know. 25 issues and going strong.
So back to Robotnik's plan. I don't get why he made Snively dress up as Robotnik, and B, why they needed to burn the highway behind him. I assume, I've never played Sonic CD. That will happen soon. Mm-hmm. I assume that's what happens in Sonic CD. So they're like, we got to do this. But the reasoning, it made no sense, because Tails and Amy were tied up at the end of the highway. So he was always going to go there. And they're like, hey, so Sonic just randomly is like, maybe I should double back. And I'm like, I don't know why you would. There was no reason to double back. He said it was like maybe faster, but like how on earth would it be faster if they're at the finish line of this highway?
Not sure. I am not sure.
Yeah, this is what happens when a 33-year-old man sits down and questions what's happening in an Archie Sonic comic. I'm just like, I don't get it. I should have been in that writer's room. It should have been me. I should have been there being like, does this make sense, fellas? Made me realize that I don't really know Metal Sonic. I haven't seen any media with Metal Sonic in it. Because I've said it before, but the main Sonic games I've played are literally Sonic 2 and 3, and then Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And Metal Sonic is in there in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle as like a side character and multiplayer, but like that's it. And
other
Sonic
than
Adventure,
CD,
he's in like a test tube.
Yeah. Other than CD, that was Metal Sonic's main thing. It was CD. Well, we don't really know, but our understanding is yes, CD, which you haven't played yet, neither of us. And
he's comics, the main villain in the OVA.
And yes, exactly. That was the third thing.
Which I have seen, but like it's been years.
I have too. So. I really want to see it again. Yeah, we will
soon.
We cover all Sonic media, so very slowly.
Yeah. So like, I mean, there's not a lot of character from Metal Sonic in this either. I don't know if he's supposed to have character. I don't know if he's supposed to be like snarky like Sonic or something. I don't know how much of Sonic's DNA is in him.
Like literally? Or are you talking about metaphorically?
Metaphorically. But also I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a thing where they're like, this is Sonic's DNA. That seems very up this comic's alley.
You're right. The upping, like not the escalation, the maturity, and not as in it's mature, but rather the general maturity from where we were before of like the art style, the aesthetic, and so, where we are in the general arc of this entire comic series. It's definitely felt up, but this plot in particular is such a Looney Tunes-esque convoluted thing. Not even in a good like Looney Tunes way. It's just wacky and confusing. And it feels like we're all just kind of flailing around. Everything feels arbitrary. Everything feels floaty. Everything feels whatever. And for Amy's debut, I'm a little disappointed by that.
Both by Amy's debut and Metal Sonic's debut.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I understand that Amy is originally she was just meant to be the damsel in distress, introduced in the games, which is fine. But fine. But by the standards of the time, like whatever, right? Hopefully, she will receive some more, and she is. So the fan perception of Amy Rose over the entire run of the character since the inception through Adventure and onward through all the games is that she is a stalker and an obsessive one-sided lover of Sonic the Hedgehog. And in this specific issue, she does come off that way in an annoying way, which is the fault of the writers. Because there's nothing really to chew on there. She is a pure object. So I'm hoping. I mean, maybe she'll join the gang. We'll see.
My only gripe with the characterization of Amy in this, and it's not even a gripe because I'll accept that she doesn't know him as well yet. Mm-hmm. But when she's sitting there crying, being like, oh, I was going to marry Sonic or whatever, I don't think she would do that. I think she would just be like, yeah, he's going to come and he's going to win. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't stand a chance. She wouldn't start freaking out. In fact, her overconfidence in Sonic being able to save the day would be if anything, more dangerous than anything else. Yeah. But at the same time, this is her first time actually meeting Sonic, and only knowing Sonic through I'm going to assume not legends, but not even fairy tale. What's the word I'm looking for
legend, right?
Yeah, news, sure. Okay. The news. Stories from other people in Mobius, right? And being a fan and sending him fan mail. So Like, I'll accept that she isn't there yet in terms of being like, yeah, you don't stand a chance. Why are you even doing this?
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe my characterization is just really wrong. That's just how I've always kind of interpreted the character. Mm-hmm. But also, the Amy I know breaks into prison to save Sonic. So
exactly, 100%. I very much enjoy that interpretation much better, and I think it would have been interesting. Yeah, like it's similar to how like there are certain characters in fiction. I'm completely forgetting where. Also in real life, where they're like such a religious zealot, they're such a believer there, it's like, no, I cannot die because God is watching over me, right? And that it's that view.
My favorite character in like any media, and I feel pretty confident saying this, is a character in Person of Interest played by Amy Acker, who my goal of this podcast isn't to get people to like listen to our reactions of Sonic or anything. It's to get people to watch Person of Interest.
Not because it's good, because it's good.
It's good. There's a character who, once she figures out that there's this AI that's controlling like everything, believes in the AI so wholeheartedly that she believes it's a god, and will blindly do whatever this AI says because she believes in the AI so much. And so like people will be like, we'd be following these like main characters, and then she'll just randomly show up and just like shoots everyone. And they're like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know. I was just told to do this. And then just walks away.
Is that ever a problem, or is that treated by the story as good?
You'd have to watch the show.
Okay.
It's a judgment call, and like, yeah, it's a fine line. Let me say that.
Okay. Oh, well, that sounds like
they play with it in an interesting way that I really like.
Okay, that's good. I was afraid that they were just playing it straight.
I think you are supposed to, and it's a very conservative show. I will say that. I know that.
I think I know that too, without even having watched it. Anyway, ignore that text from me.
Was that actually a text from you?
Yes.
I mean, it's also, what's his face? The guy who played Jesus.
Jim Caviezel. Yep.
Yeah, and he's incredibly conservative, so it makes sense.
Okay. All right. I no longer ignore my text. So
my phone is far away.
That's okay. That's okay. According to, and this is a tweet, right? A tweet from not Captain America, who is a person online. He's got some reputation. I guess he's a ultra critic. I don't know. Jim Caviezel didn't want his character to save a gay couple on Person of Interest because it went against his beliefs. The producers had to tell him. The producers had to tell him to think of 9/11 and how the firefighters just went in to get people, no matter who they were, to get him to agree to the scene.
Yes, that is funny on multiple levels, because in the show, 9/11 is the most important thing to ever happen. And it is the cat, like, everybody has like a flashback scene of like, where were they on 9/11? And it always like put them into like, I gotta do something. I gotta make a change. I love the fact that you said that makes me love the show even more.
It's that messianic complex. It's that complex of like, yeah, I could go into it, but I would need to actually watch the show for me to confidently make that kind of statement.
Hey man, you can borrow the Blu-rays.
I know, because you showed them to me in much excitement.
Yeah, they're great. The first episode is just Batman Begins. It's so good.
Okay. And then the rest of the show is also The Dark Knight, but they don't destroy the AI at the end of the movie.
Yeah, truthfully. That's why that's the direction. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan's brother, I think. So.
Oh, no effing way.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's Christopher Nolan's brother who made Person of Interest. And their uncle is actually one of the main villains of the show.
Love it.
It's so good. there's a lot of problems with Person of Interest, but if you can look past them,
you can enjoy
a lot of cool core ideas in that show.
You can watch things that are problematic as long as you know that they're problematic. For instance, I have seen D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation, and that is...
Oh, you went right for the big one.
I did. I absolutely did. Because, well, here's the thing. I saw Roger Ebert give it a high star rating, so I was like, oh, but also, isn't this a fucked up movie? It is. Okay, let's see what's going on. And so the maturity to be able to handle that shit. Like, I've also seen, like, Leni Riefenstahl's The Triumph of the Will. We were just talking about how last episode, don't put hate crime in the title, and now it's like, well, we're definitely not. But anyway, Leni Riefenstahl, she was the Nazi director who created, if you see Nazi propaganda films, there's a good chance that she made it. Anyway, yeah, it's like just being able to know if you can...
You just went straight for the Nazi stuff. That was weird, man.
They're in the news lately for some reason.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're thinking about it.
Yeah, January 2025. I wonder why. But
yeah, it's a time date this.
Anyway. Yeah, did we have anything else you want to talk about here?
I feel like there is, but I'm not.
The splash pages where it's like a review of every single character that we've introduced here so far, I think are cool. That's nice art. Good job, Spaz.
I agree. The best is
There's two of them.
Rotor in the bottom right.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
the pilot kind of YMCA looking Rotor.
Mm-hmm. They really include everyone. So they include Knuckles, they include Hamlin and the Junior Freedom Fighters, they include the Bad Freedom Fighters, they include the original
King Acorn.
Yes, King Acorn there. And then they also include the original mechanical Sonic. What's his name?
I think they just call him Robo-Sonic or something.
Robo-Sonic, correct. The chunkier, cuter looking one.
Yeah. You were kind of giving me the perfect time to go and get the outro up, but I didn't. So.
Yeah, I know. I noticed a distinct lack of flashes on your face between switching windows, and I'm like, he's not doing it. So,
and that's the issue. Only 396 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus. I'm going to start that up starting next week, Tuesday. That is actually that is going to happen. I'm going to be playing Grand Blue with with a friend. We'll probably play that for a little bit, and then we'll go into Monster Hunter Wilds when that comes out. We're just stalling until Monster Hunter Wilds comes out. Only Tuesdays. No, maybe in the future I'll add another day if I start really getting into it.
Your schedule will change all the time. Just lead him to the... Okay, that's okay.
My personal blue sky is at Mojosaurus.
I'm Dominic. You can follow my jazz adventures in Chicago when I actually make it out to the goddamn city on at Blue Collar Jazz. Apparently, Facebook and Meta is also cooked now on a level we have not seen cooked before, so I don't know.
We need. I can't today because I have a thing I'm actually already late for, but we need to sit down and figure out something about social.
Okay, sorry. I'll
what we want to support.
Yes. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at DomQuan.
You can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with panels and watch our handsome faces. You can write into the show at sonicgrams@gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion of this week's issue. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, when life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and just get through it.
I love you. Gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk Fast, gotta talk. Fast, gotta talk.